Hello, I'm Liz DeYoe. In this video, I'm going to show you how to transition between chords faster and more efficiently. I'm also going to go over some common guitar and technique issues you might be experiencing. In this video, I'm only going to be demonstrating with open position chords, but you can apply these techniques to other chords outside of open position. So for this lesson, you will need to know these chords: C, G, maybe you use a different fingering, D, D minor, A minor, E, and E minor. You will also need a metronome for this lesson. You can find free metronome apps for your phone or your computer. I'm first going to talk about some common issues you could be having with your guitar or your technique. If this doesn't apply to you, feel free to skip ahead. What I notice with a lot of my beginning guitar students when they're first learning to play chords is that they press really hard to get rid of some string buzzing and to make sure the chord is clear. Now, pressing too hard can cause a couple different issues. You can get hand pain, can also affect your intonation, and it will slow you down as you're trying to move between chords. So to check if you're pressing too hard, pick a chord and then see how lightly you can press each note until you can get a clear tone. You should notice that you don't have to press too hard. Also be aware of how hard you're pressing with your thumb. Your thumb should be able to move freely around the neck. If you're playing and notice that your wrist and hand is hurting, you might be pressing too hard. It's okay if you're sore after practicing because you're building hand strength and calluses, but we don't want pain. Another reason to have wrist or hand pain could be related to your posture. So check to see if you can sit up straighter, keep your shoulders relaxed. Check to see the angle of your guitar neck. Are you pushing it forward? Maybe you're pulling it back if you're trying to look at your fingers and you're creating an intense wrist angle. Maybe you need to get a strap to raise the guitar neck up to make it more comfortable for your wrist. You could even just need a different chair. That can make a world of difference. For me, I need to sit with my legs crossed. This is what's most comfortable for me, so experiment and see what works for you. Now, if you've checked all of that, and you notice you still have to press really hard to get a good sounding chord, your guitar's action might be too high, meaning that the strings are too far away from the fretboard. This will take more strength to press the strings, and it can cause hand pain. It can also cause intonation issues. Your guitar can also have action that's too low, meaning the strings are too close to the fretboard, and that can cause some string buzzing. So if you're wondering if your guitar might need to have its action adjusted, take it into your local repair shop and have them check it out. The next step is moving efficiently between chords. There are two aspects I need to cover with this. The first one is keeping your fingers close to the fretboard as you move. So let's take a look at A minor to E major. What I notice with a lot of my students, they'll play a chord, take their hand far away off the fretboard, and then find their next chord. That's not very efficient. We want to keep our fingers as close to the fretboard as we can. Part 2 for moving efficiently is finding common notes between the chords. Let's look at A minor to C. You'll notice that A minor and C share two of the same notes. We have C on the second string, and then we have E on the fourth string. So we can keep those two fingers in place as we move between the chords. We only have to move our third finger back and forth. Let's take a look at some other chords. E major to E minor. You only have to move one finger. Here's another one, D to D minor. Your third finger stays in place on the second string as your first and second fingers move. Here's one more, G to E minor, and I'll show you the two different fingerings. For this one, your second finger stays in place. The other fingering, your first finger stays in place. When you're working on a song, check to see if any of the chords share common notes and you can keep the finger in place. That'll help you create a very smooth transition. Now let's take a look at chords where you can't keep any fingers in place. Let's start with E major to A minor. So these two chords are the same shape, just on different strings. So instead of playing E, taking your hand off, finding A minor, you can just gently release your fingers, keep them in that same shape, and just switch which strings you're playing. Let's look at A major to G. What I notice a lot of my students do, especially with G, is they'll put one finger down at a time. A lot of times they start with the first string and then get the other ones in place. Ideally, you want to work up to getting all the fingers there in place. But if you can't quite do that yet, and you're going to put one finger at a time, make sure you're getting the lowest string first. So in this case for G, you want to get that sixth string sounding first because you strum starting from the sixth string. So if you need to practice just getting your finger there onto the sixth string, you can do that. And then get your other fingers in place. Let's look at the same concept going from G to C. C is another common one where my students will put one finger at a time, starting with their first finger. So we need to switch that order. We need our third finger first. Alright, that was a lot of information and a lot to work on. Now I'm going to tell you how to practice. First, check to see if you're pressing too hard. Maybe you just need to work on that for a while, relaxing, just switching comfortably between different chords. Also check to see your posture. Maybe you need to get a guitar strap, change how you're sitting. You might need to get your guitar fixed. Once you've gone through all that and you feel more comfortable with the chords, then you can move on to using a metronome. You're going to set your metronome to 60 beats per minute, pick 2 chords, and each chord is going to be 3 beats with a transition beat in between. I'm going to use A minor and C. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3. Gradually increase your speed by just a few numbers each time. You don't want to increase your speed too fast. We want to go slowly. If you've noticed that when you increase your speed, you start to get a little bit sloppy or a little bit panicked, then you need to slow it back down. If this is even too fast for you, you can slow it down even more and add more transition beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 2, 3, 4. After you've been able to increase your speed a little bit and you feel comfortable, you can take away those transition beats. Then use 2 beats per chord. Then only 1 beat per chord. Create your own combinations of chords and find songs that you like and apply these techniques. The important thing is to use the metronome, start slow, and gradually increase your speed and slowly adding more chords. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's helped you. Try not to get discouraged as you're practicing. You are building your foundations as a guitarist. It's so important and it takes time. If you have any other guitar or technique questions you'd like to see a video for, please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you.